getting ready to celebrate the Paschal Triduum, and just looking at the Holy Thursday Mass and the Lord's Supper, it's just really catching my attention in a new way this year, just maybe a deeper way. Looking at our readings throughout this Lenten season, we focus so much on the Exodus event, and here we are, about to celebrate the Passover of Passovers, and we hear the reading, our first reading from Exodus, where Moses prescribes for the people the first Passover that would save them from their slavery in Egypt. It would save them from the plague of the death of the firstborn son, and ultimately led them to the freedom of the Promised Land. And here, as we begin our Paschal celebration, we're told of that story, and we celebrate the Mass. We celebrate the Eucharist, which is our own Passover, wherein Jesus provides for us the Lamb of sacrifice, where he prescribes for us what we are to do to celebrate that Passover and ultimately complete the sacrifice by eating the flesh of the Lamb, the Son of God, Jesus himself, the Lamb of God. And it's a beautiful celebration, the Mass of the Lord's Supper. It really highlights and celebrates the institution of the priesthood, the institution of the Eucharist, and what's called the mandatum, the command of the Lord to love as he has loved us. And, it's a common reality for us all, but I think about Moses as he stands there before the people and tells them, how to celebrate the Passover. And as Jesus gathered his disciple and explains to them how to celebrate, the new Passover. Here, as priest, I stand before you and, tell the story again, and hopefully being, transformed in my own life by the command of the Lord, by the ritual we celebrate, having been set free from my own slaveries and ultimately, the plague of death, eternal death, being cut off from the Lord forever. I stand there with Moses, with Jesus, and, lead us through the waters, lead us out of the slavery that we're in. And in some ways that the mandatum, the command to love, represented in the foot washing ritual, it's kind of what ties this whole thing together, hopefully representing, a change of heart, a desire to serve, and leadership in that way. It's the hope for all of us that having known the saving power of God in our own life, the forgiveness of sins, and being, drawn up out of the waters of baptism, ultimately, that we might be transformed ourselves, that we might live in freedom, that we might find ourselves on the other side of these celebrations in the promised land with the Lord.